The back bowls weren't in it at all. Sam Murphy is doing the measuring Bellis's bowl first. We'll get an idea of the measure here as it comes down. Oh, it looks short, doesn't it? It's 2 all right. 2 to Bellis, and that takes him to 19. And McGill is 13. Bellis playing with quite a bit of confidence. I don't think it's greatly wrapped in this first bowl. He shook his head a matter of a quarter of a second after he delivered it, and he knew he was going to be 2 yards short. David's going to change his hand. Goes to the backhand. Good weight. Will have the shot irrespective where it finishes. Gone pretty close. Good bowl. About 4 or 5 inches away. Bellis also feels that that first bowl of his is right in the draw, so he goes to the backhand. He's got far better weight. Pushes that bowl out, and I still think he could be 1 down, but as you can see, it's half a dozen of one and 6 of the other. And the backhand again. It's imperative that David reach, but he might be a fraction wide on this occasion coming home, but gone about 2 feet over what he really wanted. He wanted to be inside that yellow disc bowl belonging to Bellis. Nobody has asked who has shot yet. It's narrow.
You see what he's after. He's after that blue disc bowl of David McGill's. If he stayed there himself and laid 2 shots, he'd get the game.
By the way he played that bowl, I would suggest to you that McGill is holding the shot.
Well, McGill needs another one in the head because he wants shots here. No, straight short there.
I am down, Sam. Yes.
Yes, he's down, so he's after that second bowl of David McGill's, and if he can rest that out, he would lie the 2 shots and lie game. After the bowl at 9 o'clock, as he got the weight off that one onto that one, but no weight. That's what he was after. Wanted it cleanly, push him out of the head, lie 2, but no. And with the slight movement of McGill's bowl, well, he could have come in for shot. Well, he's in the head. That yellow disc bowl, or just turn the jack. He's done it. Well bowled, McGill.
Could have
made 2. 2 it is, so he goes now to 15 shots, does David McGill. Peter Bellis still ahead on 19. First bowl finishing about 3 feet short. Considered possibly a block by Peter Bellis. He coming then for down on his forehand. Got a well-weighted bowl here. If it pulls up in time, you know, it may run on just that shade, and McGill may still be having the advantage as he comes down again now on his forehand and wants to put on about 3 foot more in weight.
On his backhand.
On his backhand, rather. And he's done it. As we see there, great recovery shot and finishing nearly jack high. Correction here possibly from Peter Bellis. Well, he's not so far behind as his first bowl, but still We see one shot of McGill's closer to the jack. So he's still attempting this backhand. Maybe coming up for another shot if he reaches. Doesn't want to be short again. No, there's 2 shots there, but should Bellis pick up this jack? He's got ones waiting behind for receivers, but he's turned his back on it. He's not happy. Let's see where it finishes. Oh, reasonably poor there for Peter Bellis. So it's essential now that I feel McGill had better put one round just behind, because as I said, if Peter Bellis should pick up the jack and trail it to those back bowls of his, well, there's none of McGill's there to stop him from picking up the 2 shots that the New Zealander wants for victory.
I think he's got a gamble here, McGill. I think he needs the 4 shots. Should he draw the 4th on this backhand? No, Cedric, he has heeded your advice by the sound of things. Not that he needed to be told, but he has gone for insurance, satisfied with the 3 he's got. But by the same token, a trail of the jack by anything up to a couple of feet would be game to Bellis.
Could even trail it a couple of yards. I still think he'd win this match.
True.
But as you rightly say, a minimum of 2 feet back from those, and this is looking at it from behind the head. And trail that jack back, well, the game would be all over. But at the moment...
Yeah, he's got to decide whether he's going to try and trail a jack or try and draw the shot. He's 3 down. That's the important factor of this end. Oh, he's after the jack by the weight that he's got on it. He's taken a big risk here. He must pick the jack up or sit one. He's going to get nothing. He's lost 3 shots. That will bring David McGill up to 18, and Bellis is on 19. Playing down to the clubhouse. Just running did the pressure get to Peter Bellis on that last end. But David McGill's away to a pretty good start. Just travelling through. He's gone about a yard. At least it's behind the jack. On the same hand is Bellis. Looks to have a better weighted bowl than McGill. And it will be the shot. 18 inches away. McGill's got to take off at least 2.5 feet in weight to get the shot. Giving it a big chance. Giving it a big chance. That's the shot. Marion McGill having a little bite of the fingernails.
Don't blame her either, Ian. This is a tense match now.
Is it ever? Here he comes, down on that forehand again. Grasp is what he needed, and he's got it, but how about weight? Got the weight too, but has he come a little bit too wide? I feel he has.
He's still got to come down this way now. He's got to get inside that bowl of Bellis's, which finished about jack high. Has he got the weight to reach? Oh no, 2.5 feet short that. Oh, we don't know who is shot, Ian, but I'm confident that David McGill's blew one there at about 2 o'clock from the jack.
The disturbing thing for Bellis about this, that last bowl of McGill, to me, is right in the forehand draw.
Yep. So Bellis is changing his hand. Coming down now on his backhand, as Ian said, that last bowl of McGill's could well be in his way. Is he picking up the jack? And he's trailing it back, but McGill's got one there. This is the last bowl for the Scotsman. got to come down on his backhand and get round the short stuff that's there, about 2.5 yards short of the jack. Get round it, or inside then for safety. Oh, he's rubbed against his own short bowl and left the way wide open, but at least
got third shot.
He's got third shot. And he's coming down with weight to attack it. He's trying to get it out of the head.
No hope.
But he's missed it. You can see what he was after, but he was offline. So it's another shot to the Scotsman, and now they're level. 19 all, and 2 required by either man now for victory. Well, the buzz of this crowd now, they're really on the edge of their seats, this capacity crowd here at Beaumaris, looking at this great semi-final between Peter Bellis and David McGill. David earlier trailing by 13 shots to 19, and by picking up a 2, a 3 and a single has levelled the scores. And once again we're playing to a jack of about 30 yards. Here's his first one, is the young Scotsman, and an excellent start there. Peter Bellis knows he mustn't be short now. He's got to be up to this, and if he doesn't get his target, just come round the back as a receptive bowl in case that jack is trailed. There it is, 4 feet behind.
He's lost a bit of touch, you know, Peter Bellis. Pressure might be really getting to him, Cedric. He's lost 4 of the last 5 ends.
Yes. And what a wise bowl this is, Ian, from David McGill just behind. That can't send the jack back very far, can it? Oh, he'll have to open this up now, will Bellis, surely. Yes, he's setting himself for the drive to split this open. But he's missed it.
Yes, he was getting those early. That's 2 he's missed in the last few ends. He's not overweight, so he could well be looking for a blocker because he's not going to reach the head. He's trying to come across. He needed another couple of feet of weight to get across to that line.
Yes.
I feel Bellis is committed and must go.
He's waiting for quiet.
Bellis is committed. Having had 1 drive, he needs another one. Now, he's missed his last 2 drives. Oh, he's knocked his own out. He's 3 down. Not that that matters anymore.
Well, he's got 1 chance to go. And David McGill lying game. He's got 3 shots. He only requires 2. And those are the only bowls on the green. His own blue disc bowls.
I think he'll try for another blocker. Even only put it halfway up the green on line, it would be a good bowl. He's trying for a blocker again. But he's got to come across further. Is he coming far enough? No, he has left it. This drive is at the end of the game. What a magnificent shot. Courage. And the crowd applauded. And he's wrapped too. And why shouldn't he be? Defeat staring him in the face.
So the replay of this 23rd end when David McGill was lying game and it was saved by that drive from Peter Bellis. This end having to be replayed, and about the same length of end as it was before, just about 30 yards. And there is McGill's first bowl. Not quite as close as his first one last time, finishing at about a distance of 4 feet from the jack. There's the turn of Peter Bellis to have one very close. Yes, indeed. Just a shade short, a little more than 12 inches. Remember, both men need just 2 shots for victory to secure a place in the final of this year's Jack High, and David McGill trying to come up and pass his opponent.
No.
Just fails by about a half an inch to get past.
How far short are they, Sam?
They're almost 2 feet.
Here we are, nearly 2 feet short. So that bowl of McGill's is rather in the way for Peter Bellis, so he's coming down on his forehand, picking up the jack, slicing it. Still does he lie the shot?
He's opened it up a bit.
He has indeed, and now David McGill has a good 2 feet now to get a shot.
McGill gathers himself, concentrates, puts it down on the backhand, knowing full well he had to have a bit more grass because the jack was shifted offline, and his thoughts are good. He's coming up, and he could well be the shot, and he is. Beautiful bowling from David McGill. Now Peter Bellis has also got to remember that the jack is offline. Therefore he's looking for a bit more grass than he has had on previous ends. And he looks to have that more grass. Now what about the weight? Giving it a big chance. Oh, what a magnificent bowl from Peter Bellis. Oh, superb bowling from both champions. David McGill has got 1 bowl left to play. Thinks about it again. His grass is good. Now we've got to watch for the weight. The bowler's got to come in. It's starting to move nicely. His weight looks fairly good. He's up there and he's drawn the shot, I think. It's given him a big chance. I like it. Peter Bellis applauds it. And a turnabout again. Bowl after bowl. Reminds me of the brilliant David McGill, John Snell in last Jack High series.
I wonder if this is the last bowl of the match, because both men require 2, but in fact David McGill lying 1 now. Then is he after that bowl, but he misses, and McGill has got the 1 shot.
1 to David.
1 it is, and he goes to 20 and requires 1 for the game. Bellis on 19. Rather wide, but in it comes. David McGill's weight is good, but as we see there, some 3 feet away from the jack. Bellis also going wide as well, and falling a shade short. No need to change their hands. Their first 2 bowls are not in the way for a draw to the jack. Yes, and slightly narrower green here from the Scotsman, as we see. And that too is not good, I wouldn't have thought, for David McGill. He would like that to have been a little closer, Ian. 2 feet.
Oh, yes.
And the reply here from Peter Bellis, and he's gone away through about the same distance, so tension must be high out there on this Belmorris bowling green with these 2 players. 1 just short of victory, the Scotsman, and the New Zealander wanting 2. And here comes David McGill's 3rd bowl. This looks good, Ian, this one.
The shot. But
a target.
But no, a trail of the jack by 2 feet would give him 2 shots.
Oh yes.
So he's
trail of the jack, as you say, either jack or bowl.
So he's after the. He's given it the weight. But how about his grass underneath it? Yes. David McGill is holding game.
Most of us sitting there, haven't we, isn't he?
I think you'll be looking for a back bowl to try and divide the two down there that belong to Bellis. He's certainly not going anywhere near the head, playing really safely, and that's a very, very good bowl. But a trail of the jack by 2 feet or 3 feet would give the game to Bellis, and this is the last bowl of this match, unless he kills him. And I don't think he'll be trying to do that, because the opportunity to sit the shot bowl and get 1 or trail the jack for 2 or 3 is there for him. He's on the mat and thinks about it. Yes, he's going to play it on the forehand. Oh, he's playing it with weight. He's after the shot bowl. Oh, he's knocked them both out. But I think he's got 1 shot. David McGill's having a look at it. It's 1, so the scores are 20 all. What a sensational match. 20 all. So unless this end is killed, we will have one of these gentlemen going into the final of this, the 3rd series of Jack High. Having won the mat, scoring that 1 in the last end, Bellis has brought the mat up some 3 yards or 4 yards and has rolled the jack to about 5 yards from the ditch. This is his first bowl on the backhand. Won't be all that far away. That's a good start, a very good start. Remember, David McGill will have the last bowl. And how often have we seen the last bowl dictate the terms of this game? David McGill playing the backhand. 1 shot needed for victory. David McGill's a bit heavy. You can feel the tenseness out there. Here comes Peter Bellis on the backhand again. Looks to have good weight. Coming around that to match that bowl. Oh, that's good bowling by Bellis. Very good bowling. This young man, 34, must be nearly 35, thinks about it. He's got to take about 2.5 feet off his last bowl. He's running up the green. I think he's going to be very close. Going to be very, very, very close. That's the shot.
He's himself the shot.
Oh, what a bowl.
McGill's bowl completely out of the head and lays to himself. So David has 2 more chances to put a bowl up there to get closer to the jack than the nearest one of Peter Bellis's. Well, his last bowl was excellently delivered to finish the shot. Let's see if he can repeat it. He's got to do exactly the same again. If he starts running after this bowl, he'll be keen. Well, he's running. Is he going to do exactly the same inside it? Has he got the weight to reach?
No, I don't think so.
He's not here this time and fallen short about a yard. And Peter Bellis lying 2 shots, and remember, he only requires 1 for the game, and this is his last bowl on this end. And he's lying the game. And here comes another bowl. What's he doing? Nothing.
Oh, but it's close.
Is this something for David McGill to change his hand now and rest up against this bowl.
Bellis is holding game.
And David McGill has one chance left to save it.
You think he'll try and draw the absolute shot? He can't afford to take it out because he's got three down.
Well, if he does go for the drive, he's got to get the jack clean. There's no use going for bowls because his opponent, Peter Bellis, has got 3 shots there. So which hand is he going to come? He's going to continue on this backhand, and he wants a yard more on this bowl than he had on his last one. He's looking at this bowl. Is he too wide? Yes, he is. It's all over. Peter Bellis wins.
What a finish. I think the most exciting we've seen in 3 series of Jack High. Peter Bellis admitted afterwards that he'd never felt pressure like he did on those last few ends, particularly on that crucial 23rd.
Well, I have a little bit of a reputation as a driver, and I said to myself, well, 3 misses in a row is not the normal thing that happens. And I just said to myself, you know, get back there and hit it.
And the drive on the last end when you just nipped him out, what were you really going for?
Yes, I was looking for the edge. David's bowl was a couple of inches short of the jack. There was room for it to go through between the jack and my short one that was there, the second shot. I got a little finer than what I hoped, but you know, as long as you make contact at that speed, you're going to shift it. And it was what I was looking for. I got it, and I was rather pleased about that.
David, do you feel hard done by?
Oh, hard done by? No, not really. I've had 3 good wins in the qualifying, and I suppose it's expected that you're going to fall sometime. I knew within myself I wasn't playing particularly well in the early part of the game because I couldn't put the jack where I wanted it, and in the previous games I could get it to within 6 feet of the ditch end after end. But I think I was rather put off when I put one of the jacks in the ditch, and I tended to pull it up a little short because I reckoned the longer the jack the more chance I had.
The game did seem to swing away from you, actually, just straight after that. Was that in your mind?
Well, yes and no. I'm not all that bothered about my own performance at lengths of jack. It's how the other fellow plays. And Peter had shown a little sign of weakness early in the game at a full-length jack. And, well, I was trying to exploit that weakness on his part. But I didn't get the jack often enough to maybe get enough practice throwing it.
Well, at 13-19, as we say in Australia, most people were putting down their glasses. You obviously hadn't. Did you still feel you had a good chance?
Oh, if I can get close to 17. 17 is a target figure because you can get home from 17 in one go. So if you get to even 13, you see, well, you've got 2 fours can win you the game. It can be over in 2 ends. You can turn around. So while there's life, there's hope. So you just hold on and hope something's going to happen.
Well, you probably took the psychological advantage as you drew level and then hit the front. Did you start to feel that you were on top?
Well, I thought I had the game won on about 3 occasions. But I thought Peter must run out of trick shots by that time. But no, he had a few left in the bag.
And just enough, as it turned out, to put McGill into the 3rd place playoff and New Zealand into the final against one of these 2 men, Bob King and Rob Perella. Their semi-final comes up next week. King is the Group B leader and Perella the runner-up out of Group A. If it's as exciting as the match we've just seen, then it will certainly be worth waiting for, and I'll see you next week.
Now tonight's news headlines.